Hi, everyone. Noe, can you hear me? Hi, everyone. I'm here with Noe Castagnon, and we're going to hear his story about his most epic A race yet, the TDG or Tour de France. This interview is purely for fun, purely to enjoy his experience in the Swiss Alps. This is going to be unedited, so we can post it right away, considering that Noe just got back from Italy on Wednesday, and it's Friday night right now. So let's go ahead and start. Noe, thank you so much for doing this. Congratulations again on your finish just last week. 200 miles, no, 205 miles over 6 days with only 4 hours of sleep. While you were running and climbing, oh my goodness, how is recovery going for you?
First of all, thank you, Eileen, for taking time again. It's great to see you and talk about our craziness. Yeah, I just got back. I just got back on Wednesday from Europe, taking 2 weeks off from work and to do this craziness. It was pretty impressive. I feel pretty happy about my achievement.
So let's just go ahead and just kick it off. I'll just start off with, like a simple question. Have you run in Europe before?
No, this is my first. This was my first trip to Europe. I was I wasn't expecting to see these kind of trails in Europe. Um, Usually, what I'm used to running US or in Mexico. Mexico is kind of similar to Europe, but not as hard as Europe. I mean, not Europe in the Alps because those are mountains, and American trails they're more, they're more gentle. They're not as technical as Europeans, and no, that was pretty impressive. Those mountains are big.
Okay. So just curious, you were running for Mexico. I just want to know, were you the only one running for Mexico? Because I understand that there were like 16 Americans running out there, but I don't know the number of Mexicans running.
In the list, there were two runners from Mexico representing, at the TDG. There was one friend. Her name is Alejandra, but unfortunately, she had to give up the slot because she got injured 3 weeks before the race, which was a boomer. Completely boomer. She was training and she got injured, so she had to, give up, and I had to go myself. Trying to represent the country, which was for me a big proud to be there.
Yes, absolutely. So, gosh, I don't even know where you should start. Maybe you should just talk about the start line. When I don't know if a gun goes off, if they blow a horn, like what happens there, and how are you feeling when you started running?
Well, first of all, I was thinking. First of all, it's from the beginning. I was thinking about TDG since November. I wanted to try that race because I heard about 200 miles in Europe. I have had some experience about crewing and pacing at 200, which is Tahoe 200, and I had an idea what to do, not to do. So I said, well, okay, let me see what happens if I try a 200 miler. And I was thinking about TDG. I say, okay, let's try that one and put my name on the lottery, which is a lottery system. It's not just to put your name and go. No, it's a lottery system. And fortunately, because I was running as a runner from Mexico, every country has two slots. It's a quota, two slots per country. And after that, it's a lottery system. So fortunately, only two runners got in from Mexico, so we got automatically entry, which was good for me. So I had to bypass the lottery and start training. Start training to get to the starting point, which is just like any other race. They give you, horn and 3, 2, 1, and go. So start running. Unfortunately, from TDG, from the very beginning, we start climbing. There was no mercy, like a flat, and then no, right away. So yeah, we have to go that way.
Okay, so here you are, you're running. From what I understand, people tend to go out fast in Europe. So I don't. It was that is that true? People tend to run really fast at the beginning.
Well, because for me, TDG was a different kind of race. It's a 200 miler. It's not like a 50K or a marathon. So for me, just the the plan was to pace myself and don't be really in the front with all those people, because usually in like every race, people start with excitement, the music, everything. They just run fast, and no, I don't want to be in that game. I just want to go in the middle, on a little in the back, but not much in the back, in the middle, so I can pace myself and don't go out too fast, and keep on going, which really work that way, because for running and moving, I mean, not really running, jogging and hiking for 6 days, it requires to pace yourself, not really go fast.
Got it. Got it. Okay, and that makes so much sense because I mean, if it was me, maybe one day, fingers crossed, I will definitely be starting from the back. So 6 days. I mean, there's a lot to just talk about in there, but I'm just curious. When did you hit, your lowest point? Just and what was that like? Was it, second day, third day? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, in my case, for TDG, was like a roller coaster. You have a lowest point, and then you have your prime time, and then you get the lower point, and like that, because it's 6 days. It's just 6 days, and fortunately or unfortunately, usually I take the whole time. I make my money worth. So basically, during the race, I got probably about 3 or 4 low points. Like basically, I was feeling miserable. But later, once my energy comes back, I was feeling like a new person and start moving fast again, just like that. I had pretty good stories to tell, but I'm going to post them in my race report, which is very amazing for me. But sometimes now that I'm pretty sane, I mean, not sane, but like I'm not in the race, I'm thinking like how that happens, because hallucination is real. It's real, and in 200 milers it can be an issue. The problem about TDG, like you cannot have hallucinations. Why? Because those trails are very dangerous. They're very technical. They're drop off very dangerous. So you need to take care of those things. Unfortunately, I had hallucination, and that's what I want to plan. I'm planning to talk about that in my race report.
Okay, I guess we have to wait for the race report. Exciting. Okay, so then let's talk a little about just a little bit about the prep. I'm just curious, just some basic stuff, like what was your foot gear? What was your nutrition like? Basically, how did you keep your energy up and maintain your level of energy up during the whole 6 days?
One of the things, like I was not sure about TDG. I mean, not TDG exactly. It's about European races. I don't, because I never been there before. I didn't know what they're going to offer as a food. See, so because of that, I had to bring my nutrition with me, which is some um, electrolytes, specific kind of electrolyte like I'm used to use, a specific kind of food. I had the fortune to have my brother and a sister with me, so they crewed me. So when I was arriving to aid stations, I was checking first what they had, but if for some reason I didn't like what they offered, so my brother and sister, they had something else for me. So because one of the things about, and I learned that from Hard Rock, you know, at TDG and Hard Rock, you are not climbing hills, you're climbing mountains. So you have to have solid food all the time, because you cannot survive just with cookies and snacks, and pretending to do all those achievements. You have to eat food. So that's what I had with me, my own nutrition.
Okay, and how did your feet survive? I mean, did you suffer any blisters at all? What were you doing when it came to that?
Is that's That's a good question, Eileen. During the race, for the whole race, I didn't have any blister. I never got a swollen feet. My feet they were completely okay because one of the things that I have learned during my trainings is that I have to change shoes all the time. Like every air station, I was changing shoes and socks. Why? Because I was used to my shoes for let's say 10 hours, 12 hours, or depends how separate were the air station. And at the end of that period, I was feeling something in my foot, like probably a blister is coming up, So changing the shoe and the socks, it will modify the form of my foot. So that blister it went away. So that's why at the very end, blister that was not an issue. Of course, at the end, I was tired. My foot was hurting because for all the pounding, but not because the blister. So that's how it worked with me. So I didn't have any problem with that.
Okay. So we were talking a little bit over dinner about your preparation, which was, basically, I don't know even how to say this in a non-Valley Girl way, but to the max. Because your luggage apparently was very heavy when you brought it over, so you were definitely prepared. So what came up that was unexpected during the race for you?
Wow, an expectation. I have during the whole race, I had some race. During the whole year, I had some racers to get prepared to see what worked for me and what not. And I had learned a lot during the year, about nutrition and gear and what to bring and what not, because I knew, like even like I had the best preparation during the race, I will face something unexpected. See, and then I need to see how to face it. One of the things I've been in cold situation in hard rock on crew U or some other races, but for some reason cold in Europe, for some reason I felt different kind of cold. It's a different. So even though like I had the proper gear, my bones they were feeling cold, and how you gonna manage that, and basically you are your own because you all, like in Europe you don't have a pacer like in US. And an expectation there were no many things, just like how to face the cold, which was for me just keeping moving. Well, that was momentarily my solution, but other than that, I didn't have much unexpected issues.
So that's really good to know. It's really the cold. Okay. Yeah. Do you know who Jean Palmier is? He also did UTMB, and he said he had a challenging time managing his body temperature. So trying to manage the cold as well. So that's really good to know. Okay, and let's see. What was a highlight? I mean, were you taking pictures at all during that time? Was there any, you know, transcendental moments for you during this race?
Well, I knew like a TDG would be a great experience for me because moving for 6 days, because I knew I would take me 6 days, no 5 days. I know myself. So I would need time to remember and to think what happened during the first day. So many mountains, over 20 mountains to climb, one after another. So yeah, I brought my camera with me and I was taking pictures. And one of the things, like I was climbing the first mountain, which was I was feeling so miserable. I was feeling like, oh, hopefully next mountain is much better. No, it was worse or the same. And maybe next one the same. So other mountains they were hard, but when I was, when I had the opportunity to take a picture, I was taking picture to see how crazy those trails are, because some sections they're not really trails. We are moving on boulders, and boulders on steep mountains, straight up, straight down, a lot of rocks. It's a lot of pounding. So yeah, I had some pictures. I'm gonna post them on Facebook in a couple of days for everybody. Can see how TDG it is. I have a good pictures about them.
So, Noe, why don't you tell everybody your biggest physical challenge? What was going on with your body toward the end and why?
Yeah, one the physical challenge that I had is it basically was the pounding because you're moving and moving and moving and there were steep climbs. People who have run Tahoe Trail might think Diamond Peak. Well, do Diamond Peak over and over. Or people who have done Hard Rock, Swamp Pass, one after another. So it's very steep climbs, and your ankles, the pounding of your ankles, eventually you get sore because moving for hours, like more than 150 hours, 140, 130, eventually you get tired. See, so at the very end, I was so beat up. I had no knees. Even every step was hurting badly, and for me, make it works at the very end, almost at the very end of the race, like 5 to 6 miles before, I got lost. TDG is a very well marked race. You don't get lost. But I will get lost no matter what. I found my way to get lost and I got lost. And I didn't know until one, beautiful lady told me, you are in the wrong way. So I have to run back because I knew I was chasing cutoffs and I twist my ankle. So my knees were sore. My ankles were sore. Now twisted. There was a huge drama to finish TDG. So that's why for me finishing that race was a huge achievement. But the main challenge for that race is the pounding on your body. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Do you have any tips on how to possibly train for that? I mean, you and I, we live in the beautiful area of, Bay Area, California. Where is the closest place we could potentially train for that kind of terrain?
Well, in my view, it's not really like to pick up a specific place. One of the things that I do for myself is like you need to learn how to manage misery. You feel miserable, you need to know how to learn to manage that because um, I learned one word of one of my friends when I was training for hard rock for my first hard rock. I was worried if I would be able to finish hard rock because I live in sea level and hard rock is in altitude in mountains. In the San Francisco Bay Area, there are not big mountains. So how am I gonna do that? And he says this. You know what? People from Florida and the plains have finished hard rock. So if you want to finish hard rock, you need to find a way how to do it. You don't need to ask and ask. You need to find a way. If you really want to finish TDG, if you really want to finish hard rock, you need to find the way to train for that race. It's not like a please tell me. No, you need to figure out. You need to do your homework. You need to dig. You need to investigate. If you don't want to have everything in your hands, go and get it. That's the word. It's not like a could you please tell me and then do what he says. No, you just need to investigate. That's what I did. I was going here, there, and over there, reading, and asking friends. A lot of friends helped me, which was good. But at the same time, I was doing my homework because I was doing the race. See, so I wanted to achieve. To achieve, you need to do your homework.
Okay, that's just a little bit inspiring. That's pretty amazing, Noe. And he does this without a coach. Noe's nodding his head. Yeah, Noe coaches himself. Have you ever had a coach, by the way? No? Okay, he says no. So, Noe, we were, walking over here just a little bit into the restaurant, and he was walking normally, everyone. It was just kind of mind-boggling to me considering what he just put his body through. So, just wondering, Noe, what is possibly next for you. This was such a huge achievement, because you did this race not just for yourself and for representing the Bay Area in the United States. You did this for Mexico. So tell me how you felt when you crossed that finish line. I think I saw a little video of you kind of walking very slowly towards the finish line at the end. It looked like you, but when you finally crossed that finish line, can you let us know how you felt?
Thank you so much for asking me that question. One of the reasons that I was doing this race, first of all, was for a personal achievement. I wanted to do this race badly. But secondly, is because I was running as a runner for Mexico. Even though like I live in the Bay Area, I born in Mexico, and in my country, ultra running is just beginning. It's just starting. It's new. So no, there are not a lot of ultra runners who. There are few, but can be more. I know. So I just wanted to do something like to represent my country. I mean, my home, where I born, my Mexico, and that's why I put my name on TDG. Why? Because even though like I also have a American citizenship, but I prefer to do it as a Mexican, because if it were for Mexican, I could inspire some other Mexican runners to try these races. If an average guy like me can do this, they can do as well. And for me, finishing that race, it was a huge achievement, because I knew like a Mexican runners, ultra runners, and trail runners, they were tracking me, and I wanted to make them feel proud, like I finished that race as a Mexican with my Mexican flag. It was pretty huge achievement for me. It's not. I was not feeling awesome. I was feeling proud to feel proud my friends.
So Noe, what is next for you? Just curious.
This is a question like I usually after a race, when you finish one tough race, you say nothing. I don't want to know anything about running. For me, training for TDG, I wanted to pretend like that would be the last race of the season. So I don't have any other race on the calendar. So because sometimes when you have a race in 2 or 3 months, you don't give it all because you have another race. Remember. And no, in this case, not. I didn't want to schedule any race, so I just wanted to put TDG as the last race of my season. So I wanted to give it all. I wanted to try my best, and I wanted to achieve. At this moment, I don't have any specific race for the rest of the year. Maybe it's small race, but not really like a big one. Until next year, we'll see what happens. The only race like I'm considering for next year is to put my name on the Hard Rock Lottery and see if I get in. So if I don't get in, I'm not sure yet. There is nothing clear. Number one, I want to heal my body because I put so much stress on my body. I feel tired, like I didn't feel like that before. Usually after my races, I feel like I can run. Believe it or not, I cannot run. My legs feel so tired. My body feel like so spent. So I just wanted to rest. I wanted to sleep. Maybe because the time changed as well, but I don't think so because it's my whole body. So that's why first I need to recover completely and see what happened.
And yes, definitely a well-deserved recovery. So if you're not running anything for the next few months, that's completely understandable. So Noe, before we end, do you want to say something in Spanish to your countrymen?
Something in Spanish?
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Just thought we could try something. Okay, so thank you, Noe. This was really great. I feel really blessed to have had time with you to talk about your experience. I feel like I've been blessed to be one of the first people that you talked to about this. and sharing a little bit of that right now. But definitely looking forward to your race report and seeing all the pictures and hearing all the details. So looking forward to that. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Eileen, for inviting me. So looking forward to see you on the trails, maybe soon.
Definitely.